What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another exciting episode of Tesla Today. I'm Kevin in Colorado. The snowstorm has come and passed. We had the fourth largest snowstorm in Colorado hit the metro. Here's some pictures. Yeah, it was a lot of fun shoveling out of that. Hey, Tesla stock down, kind of flat up and down this entire week, the last 2 weeks. Not a whole lot trending in Tesla news, but we do have a couple things to talk about. One, we're going to talk about Dan Ives, the analyst, and what he thinks Tesla will be a $1 trillion valuation before the end of this year. Very, very important. We're talking about a couple, since FSD, full self-driving beta is supposed to be around the corner. We'll talk about a couple autopilot crashes, supposed autopilot crashes that are in the news trending. A lot of bearish stuff right now out there on CNBC and others about Tesla trying to take it down. So we'll talk about that. This is why you have to have diamond hands, folks. Diamond hands. Diamond hands. Gotta have the diamond hands. So why do we listen to Dan Ives, who works for Wedbush? He's one of the premier analysts. Here is the ranking right here. Was he like 114 out of over 15,000 analysts? Pretty much knows his shit when it comes to the automotive industry and tech. He's been following Tesla for a while, as well as others, and he calls it like he sees it. He's not a lot to sugarcoat it. So let's jump into his article. Okay, so here we have this article. Mr. Dan Ives, the recent decline in Tesla shares represents a massive buying opportunity. Wedbush Dan Ives said, I've said the recent pullback in EV stocks would be short-term as companies digest their gains. And then Dan expects Tesla to hit a $1 trillion market cap in 2021 this year. Investors looking for a massive buying opportunity should look at Tesla, the Wedbush analyst Dan Ives said in a note on Monday. Shares of Tesla were off by 33%. They're down to $600 a share from its all-time high, which was $900. The surge in interest rates over the past month has sparked a rotation out of high-growth stocks and into cyclical stocks poised to benefit from economic reopening. I said three factors had also hurt Tesla in recent weeks: valuation concerns, increased global competition in the electric vehicle space, and a shortage in chips and China demand, causing softness out of the gate so far in 2021. But now, quote, is not the time to panic, end quote, I've said, as the recent weakness in EV stocks will be short as companies digest their gains. The sell-off we've seen in EV land creates a massive buying opportunity, in our opinion, to own Chinese EV players as well as the leader of the pack, Tesla, heading into this golden age of EVs, I've said. The fundamentals remain strong for space, as tax incentives and the Biden administration's green energy agenda should help spur significant demand for EVs over the coming months, the note said. Ives expects EV sales to represent 20% of all auto sales globally by 2030, a significant increase from the 3% today. Ultimately, Ives sees significant upside for Tesla. He expects the company to hit a $1 trillion market valuation before the end of this year, 2021. With a market capitalization of around $600 billion on Monday, this was a week ago, Tesla would have to surge 75% to hit a $1 trillion valuation, assuming its outstanding shares remain constant. Quote, in the EV party, it's 8 p.m., not 2 a.m., I've said, meaning that the party's just getting started or about to get started. It really hasn't even begun yet. This is why you have to do your research and look for multiple sources before you believe stories. So here's key points from a CNBC article on this Tesla crash. Into a police car in Michigan. Said Tesla operating on autopilot. They don't know that. Struck a police car early Wednesday morning in Michigan, officials said via Twitter. The crash, the latest in a string of accidents involving Tesla vehicles that have sparked criticism and investigations by federal safety officials. The National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, or NHTSA, has previously embarked on probes into more than a dozen crashes that were thought to involve Tesla advanced driver assist systems. There's a picture of the Michigan State Police car. But then you go further, dig a little deeper. This is in Detroit. Federal vehicle safety regulators opened a new investigation into a second Tesla crash this month after a Model Y that was reportedly operating in autopilot struck a stationary police car early Wednesday morning in Michigan, according to officials. NHTSA was already investigating an unrelated Tesla collision in Detroit less than a week ago. Consistent with the NHTSA's vigilant oversight and robust authority over the safety of all motor vehicles and equipment, including automated technologies, we have launched a special crash investigation team to investigate the crash, NHTSA said in a statement to CNBC. Autopilot is Tesla's driver assistance system that comes standard with all of its newer models. In the Wednesday crash, a driver in a Tesla who said it was on autopilot, struck an officer's blue Dodge Charger sedan as troopers were investigating a crash between a deer and a different vehicle at 1:12 in the morning, according to a post by the Michigan State Police on Twitter. The police car was parked and partially sitting in the right lane of a highway with its emergency lights on, Lieutenant Brian O. Selick confirmed in an email to CNBC. Now, I don't know about you, but when I put my Tesla into autopilot mode, it constantly, one, warns you that, hey, you're still responsible for driving the car, so you can't have your head up your tush while it's in autopilot. Plus, in my autopilot mode, it makes me, confirm my hand on the steering wheel. It seems like every 20 to 30 seconds. So here's the interesting part. The crash is the latest in a string of accidents involving Tesla's all-electric cars that have drawn criticism from vehicle safety advocates and probes by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA. This is also the second collision involving a Tesla vehicle in Michigan over the last week. But here you go. Officials said no injuries were sustained by the officers or the unnamed 22-year-old driver of the Tesla who was issued citations for failure to move over and driving with a suspended license. He shouldn't even been driving in the first place, so he probably was not the most attentive driver, and we don't know what kind of sobriety or lack of sobriety he had as well. But these are the kind of BS headlines that are trying to bring down Tesla stock when it's the driver's responsibility. It's not autopilot. The driver told police the vehicle was operating on autopilot. According to the trooper, the accident occurred in Eaton County, located about 100 miles northwest of Detroit. And here is a picture of the trooper car. And on the right-hand side is a picture here of the Model Y with extensive damage, even though it looks like it does not have any airbag deployment because it looks like it contacted the front right of the Model Y with the rear quarter panel of the trooper's car, which looks to be a Dodge Charger. Further goes on to state officials with NHTSA declined to comment on the accident at this time, no doubt. Tesla did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The NHTSA has previously opened probes into more than a dozen crashes that were thought to involve Tesla's advanced driver assist systems, including autopilot. Now remember, we've talked about this. Tesla has gathered more than 30 billion miles of data from their vehicles. How many of those billion miles were on autopilot? And you only had how many crashes? A dozen crashes. That's amazing. It says the most recent probe involved a violent crash last week in Detroit of a Tesla sedan and a tractor trailer. Detroit Police Assistant Chief David LaValle said Tuesday at a news briefing that all indications are that the Tesla was not in autopilot at the time of the crash, but the investigation was still underway. He cited statements made by the driver and video showing evasive maneuvers being conducted just before the crash. The NHTSA and the Detroit Police have now examined data from the vehicle. Tesla's systems include a standard autopilot package. A more advanced option as a full self-driving is sold today for $10,000. The company's autopilot and full self-driving technology do not make Tesla vehicles safe for operation without a driver at the wheel. Some customers who purchase the full self-driving option also get access to a beta version. Well, actually, only 1,000 people, until recently, when it expanded to 2,000 people, actually have current access to the beta version. So I have over 1 million Tesla vehicles on the road. Less than 2,000 people actually have access to the beta, but it's not even mentioned. To try the newest features that are being added to the system before all bugs are worked out, the system can control many aspects of the car, but active driver supervision is required according to Tesla website. There again is a picture of the Model Y. Investigators have not yet said whether Tesla's autopilot, FSD, or FSD beta may have contributed to last week's crash in Detroit. Well, they just said the car was actually not in autopilot and took evasive maneuvers. I've never had my Tesla try to drive me under a semi yet. I don't know about you. However, Tesla's vehicles with autopilot have collided with stationary objects and large vehicles, including tractor trailers and fire trucks, on multiple occasions, it says. A 50-year-old Jeremy Barron Banner of Lake Worth, Florida, died when his Model 3 on autopilot struck the side of a semi-tractor trailer in Florida on March 1st, 2019, resulting in the roof of his car being sheared off as it passed underneath a semi-tractor trailer. Well, I'd say Mr. 50-year-old Jeremy Barron Banner wasn't a very good driver and was not paying attention, or he would have not driven his Model 3 underneath a semi-tractor trailer. Tesla's autopilot system, while it has changed significantly over the years, has been a subject of regulatory scrutiny since 2016, when an owner named Joshua Brown died driving his Tesla Model S with autopilot engaged around Gainesville, Florida. The vehicle also collided with a tractor trailer. Another bad driver. Another federal vehicle safety watchdog that gives recommendations to NHTSA, the National Transportation Safety Board, recently called for a clear and stringent rules for automated driving systems at a federal level. The board has pointed to Tesla's approach to automated driving systems as a reason why stronger safety requirements and clear regulations are needed.
Tesla under fire after another autopilot-related crash, and Phil LeBeau has the details and the potential fallout.
And Contessa, this happened on Friday in Connecticut. It involved a Tesla Model 3 where the owner was apparently dealing with a dog in the back seat or controlling the dog in some fashion. The vehicle then slammed into a Connecticut State Trooper's vehicle, as well as another vehicle that the State Trooper who was stopping to assist. We've reached out to Tesla for some response about this accident in terms of, are they investigating what's going on? We've heard nothing. Nothing at all from Tesla regarding this. And you might be saying, well, this sounds familiar. Has this happened before? Well, yes, it has. In 2018 in Mountain View, California, there was a autopilot-related crash. In that case, the driver was not engaged before the vehicle slammed into a barrier. The NTSB said, look, the driver was not engaged. No final report has been issued in that case. Tesla, as you take a look at shares over the last year, has been on a heck of a roll over the last 6 months. It has said, or CEO Elon Musk has said, look, we're going to have 1 million autopilot-capable vehicles on the road by the end of 2020. Now, those are autopilot-capable. Doesn't mean they're fully self-driving vehicles. But, guys, the perception by some people, and I hear it from all the time, is, hey, when is Tesla going to have these self-driving cars out on the road? Aren't they already out there? No, these are vehicles that have driver assist autopilot, but the driver still needs to stay engaged.
Okay, so when you say the driver needs to be engaged, like that crash that we saw in California, that means the driver's paying attention, the driver can step on the brakes if they see something, that they're not supposed to be turned around and taking care of stuff with their kids in the backseat or the dog or the getting in the glove box. Okay.
Correct. And by the way, Tesla's vehicles have a system in there where they alert you, hey, you need to be paying attention. So whether or not that happened in this case in Connecticut, it's unclear at this point. But Tesla makes it very clear, you need to pay attention when you are behind the wheel.
So my next question is, because I drive a car that has assisted driving. It warns you if you get too close to the car in front of you. It warns you if it thinks you're going to back into something, yada, yada. How much of this attention on Tesla when these cars get into a crash is warranted, or how much of it is because of what they plan to do with self-driving cars?
The question here with Tesla is whether or not the perception has been put out there by Elon Musk, by Tesla fans, by others in social media that these vehicles can completely drive themselves. They do not. They do not. You have to stay engaged. And that's why these crashes get more attention, Contessa, than if you have a vehicle that's on cruise control and it rear ends another vehicle. That's not to say that people aren't paying attention, and that sometimes happens with those driver assist technologies. I'm sure it does happen. The issue becomes whether or not the public is being misled. Maybe not intentionally, but there is a perception people have of these vehicles are self-driving, completely self-driving, and they are not.
Tesla will be over $1,000 a share before the end of the summer. We have 9.5 months left in 2021. Be over $1,000 a share before the summer's end by the end of September. Guaranteed. You heard it here. You can hold me accountable. It's on video. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. I appreciate your support. Please subscribe to the channel and sign up for notifications. Give me a like if you appreciate the material. You've been watching Tesla Today. See you tomorrow.